So I decided to do this voiceover because I couldn't find a piece of music that would play for 18 minutes that was license free. So I figured I'd just do a voiceover of this trail, if it helps anyone. So as you can see here, I'm going uphill. There's a little bit of an incline here, but before I start, as far as I know, Skyline's an abandoned fire road. It's not upkept, or upkept? Is that a word? Yes. It's not been maintained, so a lot of it becomes more or less a single track or a single trail that's left from the two trails that were there for tires when they ran, vehicles up here. It gets quite rocky at times, as you'll see in the video, but like I said, I just added this because I couldn't find any music. As you can see here, it's still quite wide. And I'm a novice, I didn't go very fast because as you can see right in here, it gets kind of rocky. And there's some ravines from the rainwater, and I'm still not very good at riding my mountain bike at high speeds anyway. There's going to be a section coming up where it gets really quite rocky in the sense of all the rocks on the ground here. This is probably part of it here. There's just a lot of stuff that's fallen down from the side of the mountain there. Makes it kind of very bumpy, as you can see, and could be like on some marbles if you're not careful, and these rocks are sharp. I'm changing to I think full downhill here on my shocks. That's why I stopped. And here's a little bit of rock slide, as you can see. I'll probably do one of these runs and probably stop and pull some of this stuff off of the road to make it a little bit better. As you can see, it gets quite ravine-y here. I had been up here maybe 3 years ago, before my most recent rides, and don't remember being quite as bouldery. Picked up a little bit of speed here. What I like about this road is it dumps me off close to my house rather than over by Brand. There's a little bit of a lookout up there to the right. There's a little storage box there. I don't know what that was for, but I have gone up that ramp once before. But what I like about Skyline is I live on the Burbank side, so it gets me closer. It's a little bit more fun than Brand. Here we go. There's some rocks here, as you can see, and there's a part that's recently washed out that looks like might eventually just give way. But as I was saying, I like, because I live, there's a reservoir at the top of Sunset Canyon. And actually, this sign that we're passing here, I can see from my front porch with binoculars. But what I like about this is it drops me off further, I guess it would be north, more on the Burbank side. There's a reservoir above my house. I'm just past Magnolia Boulevard. So rather than getting dumped off at Brand and having to ride all the way uphill, this brings me down closer to my house. And as I probably said already, it looks like it's a little bit more fun of a ride than the Brand Motorway. Get a little close to the edge here. That's the one thing I noticed about this trail too. It's very S-curvy, as you can see here. Again, I'm a novice, so I can't really pick up too much speed, and then there's rocks all over it. So it's difficult for someone of my level to go fast down this. one time I was been up here before and it gets kind of overgrown. It looks like there's been some people up here recently, so it's maintaining a path. And as you can see, it's more or less single track, not a 2-lane, although at this point it's wide enough for a vehicle. It's just not been maintained, so it's just become a single track. And I think this is coming up to the part that you have to carry your bike. There's a little bit of a rock slide there. Yeah, this is it here. I have to say, the first time I came up here, I didn't know about this washout, and it took me a while to find the turnout. The path wasn't as clear as this, and as you can see, some people have put down some stones there to guide people. But when I was up here like 3 years ago, the path wasn't that defined, and I went straight ahead and didn't know where the heck the road went to, and I finally heard some voices of some people coming up this path here, and they're like, oh no, and that's obviously how I figured out how to get down. I normally take my phone off my bike when I do this, but I was kind of in a hurry, and before I knew it, I had picked up the bike, and I thought, well, it'll be okay. But normally I put the phone in my pocket, because if I drop the bike, obviously the phone would go with it. This has gotten a little bit easier to pass since the last rain for some reason. I think there's a section of rock that's a little bit more exposed and more of a step and not as slopey, so that's actually a little bit easier to traverse now than it was a couple of years ago. Some people may be able to ride this part of it, but there's another section coming up that you'll see that gets a little close to the edge, and I really don't ride my bike until after the I think there's a rock pile, a rock slide that that's when I get back on the bike, but I pushed it through here. Someone with a higher skill level could obviously ride it. A little bit of a ramp here. I think I tried to ride that a little bit and didn't do so well. And here's that rock slide I was talking about. It might be the tree that up above that I get up ahead that I got to get past. Looks like I'm getting on it. Maybe not. I think it's up past this tree is where I get back on it, because then the road gets a little wider. You can see we're right on the edge there. There we go. And there's a really nice section coming up. I don't think it's along here. I think it's it's probably basically the last third of the ride is some really nice single track. You can pick up some speed. Again, there's these odd, or not odd, but every so often there's just a rock in the middle of the trail that can kind of screw you up. I remember once, again, I think it was the first time I rode it, I got a sidewall cut on my tire and got a flat. Like going through something like this, sliced the side of my tire and I had a flat. Did have a tube, so it was no biggie, but something to be aware of, that you can get your tire sliced. And here's more of that S curving I was talking about, where it back and forth, side to side. You can hear me grunting. Oh, there's a hawk up there, that's why I stopped. Just hanging out, circling. Quite pretty, actually. And I think I picked up a couple rocks here. One of these days I'm going to go up and do more of that stuff. I try and do some of it on Verdugo Motorway when I'm up there. Since the last rain in I guess early January 2016, there was a lot of there's quite a few rock slides. More rocks. I think I almost fell there. The grade isn't too bad here. It's really not very slopey at all. This camera does not like this dark green. A lot of macro blocking really browns out the greens, the detail in the bushes and stuff. It's a GoPro 3, I believe. And this gets a little bit more like Verdugo Stoke Canyon with in terms of the rocks and stuff, or the quality of the road. If you ever come up that way. I was hoping to open it up here a little bit. There we go. You can see from the rain how much fresh grass is up there. Section has some of the thatching on the ground. I think I tried to open it up here a little bit. This part gets quite fun because it's pretty smooth and it's not very bumpy and it's pretty straight. Not none of that back and forth stuff that tends to slow someone like me down. trying to get some speed here. This part's really nice. As you can see, it looks like the last third of it is pretty nice in terms of single track quality. Get up your speed, and the road's in pretty good shape, and there's not too many, rocks on it. I'm riding my giant Trance, which is a trail bike. I rode it before on my, the day before on my old Trek Fuel 2003, which is more of a cross-country bike, which the Trance feels a little bit more appropriate for it. Although this part, I think the Cannondale, the Trek would do fine. But I'm getting more used to driving the Trance since it's a newer bike. And plus the geometry I like a lot better for the downhill type of stuff. And here we are coming to the end of it. And it basically lets you out, I think it's via Montana, which is by, when Olive becomes Country Club. When you get up near the debris basin, you make a right, because I think that's where Via Montana is, and it lets you out there, or it lets you out above that, but that's how you would get there from the flatlands. And there you go, that's kind of the end of it. There's the street sign there, and you can see where it lets you out. Alright, thanks.